who represents every left-wing crackpot organization in America. He doesn't represent the military. I don't know how the guy has the agates to go into the VFW. How this guy who hates the military his entire life, who built his whole career hating the military, how he has the agates to go into the VFW and tell him as their commander-in-chief he won't put him in harm's way unless there's a reason. Did you hear that one? Listen to clip 5. Listen to the agates on this guy.
That's why I made this pledge to our armed forces. I will only send you into harm's way when it is absolutely necessary.
Hold it. Let's stop right there. Can you imagine this? I, as commander-in-chief, will only send you in harm's way when it's absolutely necessary. This from a radical left-winger, off-the-charts left-winger, not liberal, all his life an anti-war guy, all his life a military hater, all his life a cop hater. Now he's commander-in-chief and he's telling only send him in harm's way. A man who I guarantee you never shot a Daisy BB gun. I can vouch, I would bet rather. I'll bet you as I stand there that Obama never shot a Daisy BB gun. He's now commander-in-chief. I don't know. I mean, it's Alice in Wonderland. The whole thing's crazy. The whole thing's crazy. Who's the organ grinder? Who is the organ grinder behind this country, I'd like to know. Is it George Soros? I think it is. My guess is that it's George Soros is the organ grinder. And the rest of them are all on a string while he grinds away and puts the money into the machine. Last week, he gave away $125 million to the poor in New York. He makes that probably in 10 minutes in New York from currency trading with inside information, in my opinion. My guess. No reason to believe it's true. No reason to believe it's true. But I do know this. In 2008, the Soros Fund made $1 billion while virtually every other hedge fund lost money. How did he make $1 billion in the year 2008? How? I don't know how. I guess he's a genius. He has a crystal ball. Unlike Madoff, whose crystal balls ran out. You know what I mean? Madoff's crystal balls ran out. Oh, God, what a life. What a life. What a life. Why Afghanistan? Why are we in 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 Afghanistan? Why has Obama gotten away with a war that is almost as big as the troop levels right now are rising, almost to the level of Iraq after the invasion? Why? Why are we in Afghanistan? Why are there no anti-war protests?
Savage.
He's difficult to describe.
He sounds like my dad with a PhD.
The Savage Nation. Talk 910 KNEW.
Go back to Washington, D.C., and tell those people to do what the president said that I should do, is shut up and get out of the way.
One day God's going to stand before you, and he's going to judge you.
There is nothing un-American about me.
You hear this? These are the voices of the actual Americans, and yet we have Benedict Arnold Spector, Benedict Arlen Spector, saying that they're not Americans. Listen to clip 20.
I think we have to bear in mind that although those people need to be heard and have a right to be heard, that they're not really representative of America in my opinion.
You lousy piece of offal, you. They're not representative of America. You are, you turncoat bum, you. You Ira Einhorn. Conservatives now number liberals in all 50 states, according to a new Gallup poll. Now, they polled 160,000 Americans. It's interesting, between January and June, no less. And yet, even though the poll is older than now, meaning if it was done now, it would be even higher right now. The Gallup poll says that in all 50 states, despite the Democratic Party's noose around America's neck, conservatives now outnumber liberals in all 50 states. So you might say that Benedict Arnold Spector is not representative of America, but the actual Americans really are. But it just shows you how dangerous the times really are. I want to read you Banned in Britain's Table of Contents, Savage Fight Against Censorship, available only on michaelsavage.com. I highly recommend you get the order in immediately. Preface, let's see. Well, okay, it's a list of other books that are banned. I'm not ashamed to be banned in Britain. I'll read you the other names, from George Orwell to Jack London. Savage Strikes Back. I'll just read you an outline. Savage Calls on Hillary. My letter to the Secretary of State. It's in there. Appealing to the rule of law and public opinion in Britain. My legal letters are in there. Jackie Smith versus the truth, responding to the charges. The voice of intercommunity violence or peace? The British ambassador attacks, Michael Savage responds. Jackie Smith, fired. The day of defamation. What happened to me? Do I have a right to be shocked? Talk radio and the nature of free speech. From Churchill to the charlatans. Now, this is the most interesting chapter in a way. Why Michael Savage was targeted. What globalism stands for. Savage, enemy of globalism. European decadence, unable to tolerate a critical American. Anchors away. How I am being used as a target. Why I fight. Big Sister is watching you. Fusion centers. A government spy network on Americans. The DHS report. Debbie Stab You Now, a big sister who advocates censorship for the sake of corruption. The Fairness Doctrine versus the Broadcaster Freedom Act. See, every radio broadcaster in America should promote this book. I'm not asking them to, but they should. Anyway, Chapter 5, America and the World React to the Attack on Savage. Chapter 6, Change to Bereaving. How did we get here? Chapter 7, the financial takeovers and healthcare socialism. You say, what does that have to do with you? The answer is everything. Chapter 8, the fight goes on. The Islamo-fascists at home and abroad. Illegal words, they're in the book. Toothless in North Korea. Illegal words, they're in the book. The Home Front's borders, the ongoing battle against amnesty. Epilogue contains an interview with John O'Sullivan, writer of Condemned by Their Own Laptops in the New York Post. There's a letter, Dear Senator or Congressman, etc. I want to read you one thing by Emily Dickinson. 'Tis the majority in this as all prevail. Assent and you are sane. Demur, you're straightway dangerous and handled with a chain. Emily Dickinson, 1830 to 1886. Where are all you liberals now that we need you? Michael Savage, nationalist and patriot, banned from the globalist system. That's really the subtext of the book. 1-800-449-8255, michaelsavage.com. San Francisco. James, you're on the Savage Nation. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, hi, Michael.
Yes.
I have two little boys, and I went across country for the first time. And I wore your Michael Savage Liberalism is a Mental Disorder T-shirt. And I got to tell you, I got more accolades. I have more people coming up to me, giving me thumbs up than I imagined.
James, we are the majority. Don't you understand we're like the bull that has had a ring put in our nose by the ringmaster? They're a minority, a small minority, a tiny minority, an almost minuscule number of people. There are only 1,000 people running this government at the top. Think about it. 1,000 mandarins have put a ring in our nose, and they lead us around because they own the media, and the media tells you that you're in the minority, you're crazy, you're a crackpot, you're a right-winger, but they're the right ones. They represent America. They don't. They represent a small minority of bankers who are controlling us by threatening us with illegal aliens who come here and threaten us, and they do that as a reason. There is a reason that the elite are flooding America with illegal aliens. You could say, well, I'm a demagogue. You're wrong. I'm a patriot. There's a difference between patriotism and demagoguery. Let me tell you the difference. I respect the rule of law. Illegal aliens broke the law. They've bankrupted the hospitals. They've bankrupted the schools. They're bankrupting the courts. There is a social cost for tens of millions of people who are not citizens, who are actually more and better represented by our elites than are the taxpayers. There's a reason for it. Illegal aliens are malleable. They don't know the language very well. They cannot figure out what's going on, nor do they care. They vote as a block. They will continue to vote for the demagogues, the Democrats, one and the same. The demagogues and the Democrats, one and the same. The demagogues and the Democrats with a D next to their name are one and the same. 1-800-449-8255, michaelsavage.com. Thank you for the call. Where liberalism is a mental disorder. Maybe I'll make a new T-shirt up called Banned in Britain. Maybe that'll be the next one. What else do you want to talk about? Town halls, Medford, Oregon, why Army families are protesting. They're not protesting. Where are they? Are they? Medford, Oregon. Jenny, you've seen Army families protesting where?
No, I just wanted you, I was fascinated by that comment, being a former Army wife, that you said a minute ago that Army families would be the first to protest the war, and I thought maybe you could expound upon that.
Well, because you have an anti-war, anti-military, anti-nationalist president who is now commander-in-chief saying that he will not send the troops into harm's way unless there's a clear purpose. What is the clear purpose for sending them into Afghanistan?
I agree with you wholeheartedly, but like you just
what's the purpose? The illiberal left ran around with no war, no war, no war. Where's the no war bumper stickers? Have you seen any in Oregon recently? It was never no war. It was no Republicans. It was no conservatism. It had nothing to do with war. They love war. Liberals love war. It was the liberals who got us into Vietnam with Kennedy. It was liberals who got us into Vietnam and Kennedy. Never forget that. Never forget it was Democrats who dragged us into Vietnam. It was a Republican who dragged us out named Richard Nixon. It's just that they own the media, so you don't know that. But if the liberals were so anti-war, as they claim to be, why are they not protesting the war in Afghanistan? Why are we there? I still don't understand. No one's answering the question. New York, WOR, Brian, go ahead, please. Why are we there?
Mike, I think we're there because they border Pakistan. And since they have their finger on the nukes, in the event one of these radicals should ever get to take over the government over there, we'll have easy access to them. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's just what I think.
Okay, that would be plausible if we actually would do that, and we won't do that, and we have stealth bombers that could do it even better than troops on the ground.